What's up, guys? Cracked by Phil here. Today I got to give a little love to the 4Runner, but I have developed a exhaust leak, and it's one of the biggest pain in the butts to fix. But that's what I'm going to work on today. So to let you guys know what I'm working on, it is a 95 Toyota 4Runner, second gen. It originally came with a 3.0. It is a manual R150F transmission, 4-wheel drive. I have swapped in a 3.4, and the exhaust leak, or the thing I've been having trouble with, is the crossover pipe. But I'm about to hit this hill, so I'm going to show you what putting on the gas sounds like. So that ticking is the exhaust noise. So let's just talk about a couple of things as to why I'm gonna do this project. One is mentally for myself, because when I start hearing a noise, and I know a lot of people that work on their own cars and trucks can relate to this, when you start hearing a random noise, it could literally drive you insane. So I want to fix that because it's driving me crazy. Two is performance of the actual truck. When you have an exhaust leak like this, it not only affects your performance, so the pep when you push on the gas pedal, but also your gas mileage goes up. When I have an exhaust leak, it's not only letting out exhaust fumes before they're being read by the O2 sensors, but it's also pulling air into the exhaust, which will then tell the ECU to add more fuel to the engine. So it's kind of compromising itself in both respects. Let's go over some of the tools I'm going to be using. Handy dandy impact driver. I always use this thing. Socket set, cheater bar, breaker bar, some needle nose pliers, never hurts. A variety of sockets, some with adjustable heads. I'm also going to be using, I only have two right here, but I am going to probably pull out the big extensions, and I'll need like a handful of them. You'll know why when I start pulling the transmission bell housing bolts. I have semi-deep and deep socket set, as well as some ratcheting crescents, some flat and Phillips head screwdrivers, a floor jack, and a handy dandy transmission jack from Harbor Freight that is super sketchy but continues to work, so we're gonna use that. First things first, get the front end jacked up. So step one, remove the front and rear drive shaft. So let's get going on this front. I'm gonna leave this last one in here. And then on this side, it's just the nut and washer, and this is kind of hard to get into. But not that hard. Alright, flathead screwdriver, get in there, and pry it forward. There it is. Excellent. Let's move to the back one. Pretty much the same thing for back here. All right, now that we're done with taking out the drivetrains, driveline, we got 14 millimeters and 17 millimeter bolts holding the bell housing to the back of the engine. So we got two 14s here, 14 here. There's a 14 above the slave cylinder on this side, and then there's one more 14 on this side, and then we'll get onto the 17s. One at the bottom, there's Easy. 2. I'm gonna start tackling some of these 17s as well. Cheater bar is always handy. 17 right here. All right, so we got that one. Now there's a couple more. This one right here, and then there's one right here, and then there's another one on the opposite side, and that one's probably one of the harder ones to get to. And then I have one last one coming in the opposite direction for the starters. The other thing I'm gonna do while I'm underneath here is start disconnecting the harness from the transmission. Fun extension, wobble extension with a 17 with another wobble right there. All right, up here, and I think I'm on it, which is just lucky right there. Yeah, I'm on it, and she's coming. Boom. The last thing I need to do over here is, this is the slave cylinder right here. Get a better look. Slave cylinder for the clutch. And these are two 10mm bolts that hold this slave cylinder on. So I just disconnect this, and this, the hard line, supports it, and it kind of just hangs out of the way. So I'm gonna undo these two here in a minute as well. And I like to start with the one closest to the front. So these are two 12mm bolts, excuse me, 12mm. And this last one. And so now that is free and kind of just hangs out. So just be careful. This will be something that can get snagged on the bell housing when you're pulling it off. So just be mindful of that when you're doing it. These two are hard to get to, they're hard to see, but I'm hoping you guys can see what I'm doing somewhat. Okay, here's one. One. All right, this last one is mega challenging. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tilt the transmission down a little bit, and I think it'll give me some more wiggle room. So I gotta undo these 8 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the cross member for the transmission. Just gonna crack them all. Now we gotta pull apart our shifter boots and everything. So we're gonna undo these 4 screws, Phillips head, right here. I did replace these, but they are Phillips head originally too. There's 2 on this side. And then there's 2 screws in the actual center console. And all you gotta do is loosen these guys. Again, these are Phillips head as well. 2 here. You do have to unscrew the shifter knobs. There's the 5-speed knob, and then here is my transfer case knob. Both unscrewed. Get this out of the way, and then this goes up and out like so. And then last thing I got in here is this rubber boot. There's 4 screws right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now this can also be slid up and out of my way. And to remove the actual shifter shaft, is you're gonna pull this boot up, and you got an inner piece of metal here, and then the outer ring for the transmission mount. And what you're gonna do, 2 thumbs, the inner ring, push down and turn it just counterclockwise. And then you can just go ahead and lift this up and out. Clean towel and just stuff it into the top so that you don't get any debris or anything like that in there. Transfer case shifter. Gotta get this rubber boot up. So this one just has a little clip here at the bottom. Squeeze the 2 ends together. Come on. And boom, that guy comes out. Again, clean it up. And then, yeah, another clean towel can go in here. So this is my mega wrench. I now have the 20-inch extension with a 2-inch extension wobble with another extension, like 1-inch extension wobble on the end of it. Oh man, all right. So I got it mostly undone. Now I'm just loosening it by hand. It's right there. Oh, I got it. There it is. Top one out. All right. Now we gotta get in here and we gotta disconnect our electrical because we're about to remove the starter. Okay, there she is. Got 2 12s. All right, here comes the last screw, which I think you can see now. This one's kind of challenging to get to, but it's right underneath the starter. Here we go. Shoulder is on fire. And there it is. Okay. So 14 mil. It is one of the longer ones. And now the starter is detached. And it should just kind of hang right there, honestly. And it's as simple as that. It's a little scissor action. And that's it. Right. One last thing. We got to take this guy right here out, which is your speedometer, cable speedometer attachment to the back of the transmission. Other 3. 1, 2, 3. There she goes. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. All right, here we are. Welcome to the back of the engine. Clutch plate. This is my crossover exhaust right here, which dumps into this Y, which runs the rest of the exhaust all the way out. So I just need to remove 1, 2, 3 on this Y flange, remove that. And then I got 3, 1 here and 1 in here, bolts that hold the crossover pipe to the exhaust headers essentially. So got to pull these guys and then we can actually take a look at this exhaust and see where it's leaking from. Look at that, guys. Anti-seize. Use it. It's really awesome. And there she goes. And look at that. Nice. So we got 3 bolts here. Now I understand this isn't always as easy as it looks here. I've taken this apart a number of times, so if you're struggling to get some of these bolts off, there's a good chance that it's just seized really badly, and that sucks. I'm sorry, but it's gonna have to take some torching, WD or PB blast or whatever you want to use to get that thing opened up. Oh no, what's going on here? It almost looks like it's the top. Oh my God. I see what's broken. Wow, that's a bummer. Check this carnage out. Think I had an exhaust leak? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Oh man, just all the way. But wow, that's crazy. I didn't think it was that bad. That's bad. And while I have my transmission out, it was looking a little grimy. I think I had a little bit of a leak coming from that short shifter boot. But I gave it a good clean down. I like to use a degreaser and hot water from like that instant hot kettle. And just scrub it, spray it, scrub it, spray it, and repeat until it looks clean. And then here I'm using an angle grinder. I got to get all that header paint off and cleaned up so that I can do some clean welding on there. So I'm using a steel brush, and now I just got to tack it all together, weld it back up so that it's all sealed up, and should hopefully be as good as new. I'm going to install this back on the exhaust manifold, and this is the anti-seize I was talking about. I'm going to put a little dab of this on all of my threads, on these, on here, and I'm going to tighten the exhaust up, and then we can move the transmission back into place and start fitting that. Alright guys, quick tip, got the bell housing lined up pretty well, and then what you want to do is start with two 17mm on the two sides of the transmission, and that'll kind of get it lined up. And there's two pegs in the back of the casting for the engine, which will line the bell housing up correctly. So if you can get those two 17mm on both sides threaded, you can just screw those in, and that'll bring in the transmission. My arms are on fire, but it's working. This is the face of winning.
One eternity later.
Ouch. Got it. Alright, we're bringing it home. Don't forget to attach your slave cylinder back to transmission. And don't forget to reconnect all your connectors. This guy, this one right here is connected. And then don't forget about your speed cable. And remember, it's keyed. I don't know if you can see that right there. Keyed. And there's only one direction it'll go in. Like that. Boom. We're just about there. So close. So now I can jack this up more. Alright, drive shaft installed. Alright, shifters going in. Something like that. Drop in, push, twist. I'm gonna set this on top here, just for right now, like that. And I'm gonna go on a little test drive. Oh, it's nice in here now. I feel like I'm talking really loud. I can finally hear myself think. So I think mission success. I'm gonna button up the rest of this in here, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and hopefully it gave you some pointers if you ever need to do something similar or pull the transmission or something. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. It's quiet, it's nice, it's how I want it to sound, so I'll take that as a job well done. Thanks, guys.